All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakak Kadash. We're also going to give double honors to our apostle and our elders of Great Millstone. We're going to teach well in the scriptures. And salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word in all truth and all sincerity. And this is going to be an in-transit. I'm not really too sure what we're going to entitle it yet, but the brother and I were just talking about how, you know, about these tariffs, all right, that's going on, these trade wars, and how right now, you know, people aren't feeling the effects, you know, as of now, but give or take, you know, maybe half a year to a year from now, these people are really going to feel the effects of, you know, all these tariffs being placed, you know, worldwide, you know, and that's going to, you know, furthermore damage this weak economy. Okay, and you know, these people out here are about to lose everything, their homes, you know, their whatever little bit of belongings that they do have, man. You know, they're not going to be able to take vacations anymore, and all this stuff's already declining as we speak, man. The housing market's garbage. You know, people aren't going on vacation anymore. What is it? They say like what, 50% of Americans can't even afford their basic necessities.
They said last year when they did the statistic, when it came out this year, they said 40%. So imagine coming into this year. So about 50% of Americans can't afford normal necessities, man. Like they say with the article that they were saying that they at least one out of 50 Americans can't pay for like gas or they light bill, phone bills, things like that, food, and that's a big deal, man.
Yeah, and a lot of people are running all this stuff on credit, man.
That's right.
So all this stuff, man, is about the pop, man, and that's what we were talking about. You got a scripture?
I got this Isaiah 19, and man, it's a beautiful chapter. But I'm gonna get to the point. This 14, it say, the Lord had missed a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they had called Egypt to err, and every work thereof as a drunk man staggered in his vomit.
Yeah, it's talking about these philosophies, okay? You got, you know, Salaki, read that one more time.
This Isaiah 19 and 14, it say the Lord had mingled a perverse spirit.
Yeah, that's the main point. And the Lord has mingled a perverse spirit, man. And you look at everything out here, you know, from you know, this agenda with this homosexuality agenda. Okay, that's a perverse spirit. This monetary system is a perverse spirit, man.
That's right.
You know, it's not just. You know, it's a false balance. You know, these are just to name a few things, man. The Lord put this spirit in here, in this place, and the same pit that these elites have, you know, dug for the people, they're falling into it too, man.
That's true.
Okay, Esau, Edom has dug this pit, and now they're falling into it. You know, starting off with these lower level Edomites, man. These 6-pack Joes, all right, the all-American boys. They're feeling this, man. Okay, and then it's gonna eventually hit you elites, okay? You Rothschilds and you Rockefellers.
That's right.
All right.
It say, and they had called Egypt to err, and every work thereof as a drunk man staggered in his vomit.
That's right.
Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do, man. And that's the point with all these terrorists, and it's finna hit China and America and across the world. Hey, all these other global economies it's finna branch off from America, man. So it's not gonna be no work in America. Terrorists shut down businesses, man.
Yep.
So therefore, when everything come into play, business is gonna have to shut down because it's double the tax, and they can't afford it no more, man.
That's right.
Can't afford to ship those things over here. So America is gonna shut down, and the other allies is gonna do business with each other, and that's what you're starting to see. Turkey, Iran, and especially when they shut down that pipeline and Tyler Moose. Hey, that shit gonna really hurt America, man. Cause, hey, a lot of a country is running off oil, man.
Yeah.
Hey, when you have oil, you control a lot of resources, man.
That's why they say Oil's the new gold, man.
That's true.
You know, in this modern day time, and that's basically the main source of America's income.
That's right.
You know, because they force all these other countries to trade in the U.S. petrodollar. Okay, but you know, as the brother was talking about, these other countries, they're making business deals amongst themselves, and they're excluding America, and America is losing its power. Okay, you know, these other nations, they're gonna not trade in the dollar anymore. Okay, and all the dollars that they do have is gonna flood back to America, which is gonna create hyperinflation. Okay, then you got all these tariffs going on. This place is about to self-destruct, man. It's about to implode. Okay, we're getting closer and closer to the end of this kingdom. You know, it's just only a matter of time. Can you what do you got? You got something?
This Jeremiah 51 and 7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations, Salakia. They say the nations have drunk of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? They burn for her pain, if she be so, may be healed. We will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reached into heaven, and it lift up even into the sky, man. And that's the point. Babylon is not going to come back. America is not going to come back from all the atrocities that they's doing now, man. And they putting taxes on all the other countries, and these other nations is mad. When you read Revelation 17, it say they should hate the whore, and that's what you're starting to see. They're starting to turn away from this whore, man. And with that war with Russia and Iran and the Israelis is bombing each other. Hey, World War III is soon as on the way. As soon as on the way, man. So our salvation is nearer than what we believe, man. We almost out of here, man. You wanted the scripture?
Yeah, can you get Ecclesiastes 12?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. That's crazy.
You know, like the brother was saying, man, all these nations are turning against, America. And that's due to America always giving everyone the short end of the stick, man. They're never upholding their treaties, man. They're always backing out, always blaming and pointing the finger at everyone else. And that's creating much rage, anger, and dislike for this place, worldwide. People are understanding that this is the problem. These other countries understand that America is the cancer.
That's true. It's Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 1. It say, remember that the Creator in thy days of thy youth, when the evil days come nigh, neither the years draw nigh, when they say, I have no patience in them.
Exactly, and that's what we're doing right now. Remember we are remembering our Creator in the days of our youth before the evil days come. Okay, that's why we're getting ourselves in order. We're getting our house in order, man. Starting with ourselves. The brotherhood. Certain brothers, man. They got families, and we're trying to get our houses in order, man. Because we don't want to take part in the destruction of this place, man. We want to get salvation. What's lucky going on?
They say, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. And that day when the keepers of the house shall tremble.
Yeah, and who's the keeper of the house right now? It's Esau. He's the one that owns everything. Okay? And they're fearing, man. These elites know what's going on. That's why they shut down all those observatories, man. Well, worldwide they're shutting down observatories because they're seeing the chariots of Israel circling around these places, man. They're appearing more and more. They're getting real nervous. They're seeing the prophets wake up. They're seeing all these prophecies coming to pass. Okay? Keep going.
They say, in that day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong man shall bow themselves, and the grinding cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the window be darkened.
Yeah, the grinding is ceasing. All right, there's no jobs out here. You know, the Elder Uriah and the Elder Ba-Ra in our camp out here in GMS Chicago, they did a quick walk and talk, and they were doing the lesson on how on State Street, which State Street, if you know, those who are listening, if you don't know about Chicago, State Street is one of the main places of concourse where people are constantly doing business. If you walk up and down State Street, there's nothing but storefronts up for lease, man. They're looking for people to rent it out. It's all closed. And if you took yourself back 20 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, that whole street was completely filled with stores. You could barely walk through downtown. Now it's becoming like the south side of Chicago, man. The west side of Chicago.
That's true, man.
It's becoming dirty, very ghetto, man.
Yeah.
No businesses around. Okay?
They say, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up the voice of the birds, and all the daughters of the music shall be brought low.
Yeah, so you're gonna have people out there waking up early, man, and they're not gonna find jobs, man. You know, they're gonna try to get to the job at 6, 7 in the morning to find work. That's not gonna happen. These temp jobs are gonna not have any work for you. You know, people who do Uber and Postmates and all that stuff, you're not gonna have any work. You're gonna be up bright and early, and you're just gonna be sitting in your car waiting for work.
That's true. You're starting to see that now, man. Hey, that's why a lot of these, you go into the hood like Inglewood and Hyde Park and different areas like Bronzeville, and you see Caucasians, or you see different heathens living in that in your area, man. When you go into Walmart and you go into Whole Foods, man, and you see all these other different nations inside them grocery stores, man. Hey, a couple years ago, you didn't see that, man. You only seen Jake. So you can tell how that these other nations can afford that luxury style no more, man. They come into the ghetto. But it say, verse 5, it say, also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be on the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man go in his long home in the morning, go about the streets, man. And that's time out when martial law here, man. Hey, martial law is going to be on a mass scale, because when the society collapse, when the dollar just crash, hey, all these people is going to mourn and wonder and understand that they've been tricked, that they was in a delusion. And the only thing to bring in is the martial law, because people going to want to know answers, man. They're going to know why is these things and why is this happening. And the only thing to shut the people up is to bring martial law in and force the people to take that chip, man. That's the end ball game, man.
Hey, and then it's the spirit, man, because that you said that, because actually I wanted to do a lesson on that, but right now we're talking about it. One of the jobs that that's hot, Salaki. The one job that I've noticed that's hot right now, I'm sure this is going on, nationwide, is the increase of the police forces, man. They're constantly recruiting. Out here in Chicago, all you see on the CTAs, you hear it on the radios, you see it on billboards, is the Chicago Police Department is hiring. They're recruiting right now. Go apply. And I was talking about it with this one girl I know, and she was saying like, yeah, I thought about doing it, but she hesitated on it. And that's all. I was like, look, you know why they're doing it? You know why they're pushing these ads for that right now? And I told her that martial law is about to be implemented very soon. I said, look, this society is going to break down at some point, and they're going to use all these cops that they recruited, and they're going to it's going to be martial law, man. They're going to be out there on the forefront. And I told her, because my uncle, he's a cop. He's been a cop for years, And I remember this was years ago. I would say at least a good like 5-6 years ago, man. Maybe between 4 to 6 years ago. I can't even remember now. He said that I overheard him talking to one of my other uncles that how he had to go to this training for civil unrest, man. So these police officers are getting ready. That's why they're getting geared up more and more. They're looking more like a military forces, man, than police officers.
That's right.
You know, they're getting ready for this, man, because these elites know, and these those of the upper the upper status, man, they understand that this place is breaking down, and that martial law is going to be declared because there's going to be so much chaos out here. And then, like the brother was saying, hey, the end all be all is, when all hell breaks loose, hey, what is that? Order out of chaos. What's their good solution? That RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast.
That's true. It's Jeremiah 30:7. It say, "Arise, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It's even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it, man. And that he is time out the elect, man. Hey, this time that's finna come upon the earth, it's nothing finna be like it, man. Hey, and you gotta understand the reason why Trump and all these elites is putting more police people out there, because why? Property is going down. I mean, going up.
Yeah, it's skyrocketing.
People don't have money. So when people don't have money, they resort to what? Criminal things, man. Yeah. They rob, they steal, they take to feed and provide for their family, man.
It tells you that in the book of Second Ezra, man. I forget where it's at, where it talks about basically they're going to be stealing and killing and all that stuff, and rape and robbing because of the great tribulation for the lack of bread, man.
I got it right now.
I know I'm butchering it right now.
I know where it's at. It's Second Ezra.
It should be like 15, right?
Yeah, it's 15. Oh man, it's phone. It's Second Ezra, chapter 15. Damn, it just cut off. So lock it, bear with us. Second Ezra 15, and I'm gonna start at 14 and say, "Woe unto the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall."
So hey man, it said woe unto the world, man. So there's gonna be destruction all over. This is not just gonna hit America, or you Americans think, oh, that's only gonna happen in South America, or you maybe in Africa. No, this is hitting worldwide. It doesn't matter where you're gonna be at. This destruction is coming worldwide because it's gonna be Judgment Day, man. Hey, and how it said there's gonna be one people fighting against another, race wars. You're gonna have class wars too. You're gonna have the poor versus the rich. You're gonna have food riots. Hey, these people are gonna lose their minds out here, man. Was it in the movie Batman, when Joker was talking to Batman? He goes, "Hey, let's see how civilized these people are when the chips are down, man."
Yeah.
Hey, they're gonna turn into beasts, man.
That's true.
Okay.
It's true. They say verse 16, "For they shall be for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor prince, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power."
Yeah, so that sedition goes into an uprising of the people against basically the government. Okay, that's why it says they're not going to regard the kings nor the princes. And the modern day kings and princes are, your mayors, your congressmen, the presidents, so on and so forth. Okay, they're not going to in that day regard them as somebody of high status. They're going to put them to death.
That's right.
Or torture them, or whatever they're going to do. Okay? And the Lord's going to allow it to happen too, because everyone's going to get their judgment. You can't run away from the judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay?
That's right. They say a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
Ooh, that martial law right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why in Chicago, I've been paying attention to this for years now. They've been working on the bridges for years. And I remember when I was a kid, I would never see that. You would never see the bridges getting worked on.
No.
You would never see the bridges getting raised like that. You might see a bridge here and there get raised, but there's certain areas where those bridges never got raised. I've been living in Chicago my whole life. I was in awe when I saw in the West Loop in the West Loop, they have several bridges there. All the bridges were raised up. Every single one of them. Not just one, all of them. That's never happened before. They're preparing for martial law. They're making sure that these bridges can raise up properly, effectively. Okay? They're getting ready for this, man. They're gonna have checkpoints everywhere. You people aren't ready for this, man.
Hey, it's crazy because I never in my life, and I've been in Chicago for like, what, 28 years, man? All my life. So I never seen checkpoints in different areas until, man, a couple years ago. We just started seeing checkpoints. They pull you over, check your ID, you got insurance. When have they ever done that? That's showing you a form of martial law in itself. Don't get on, Lark.
Okay, cool.
It say, verse 18, 2nd Esdras 15:18. For people because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the house shall be destroyed, and man shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their house with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's what the brother was going into, man. Because, hey, when no food and when no money is around, they're gonna invade one another, man. They're gonna go in and take cousin, or they gonna see how much your family really love you, man. Because they say in Matthews, many so wax old north. So wax old, hey, cause hey, when shit hit the fan, you gonna really see who really down for you. Cause if you can't feed your family and he can, hey, guess what? You wanna go get that. And that's plain and simple, man.
God. And we're gonna end this lesson now. Hopefully it was edifying. And brothers, just stay strong, man. We're almost out of here, and this kingdom is about to go out, man. We just gotta stay faithful, and Lord willing, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua shows mercy on us and our families. And with that, we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakal Kadash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to you, brothers. Shalom.
Shalom.